1. Department of Defense Weapon System Acquisition Reform, Product Support Assessment. Chapter 6. Lifecycle product support implementation. The chapter provides for the operational details implementation of the product support assessment team recommendations. It starts an overview of the core changes of management philosophy used to minimize the transition stress associated with every large-scale change, and continues detailed value into the core team and implementation of the product support assessment team recommendations, as well as the management structures that ensure the implementation is effective and timely aligned with the lifecycle product support's vision and the guiding principles. And finally, it ends with the high-level task for each recommendation section referred to throughout this chapter as the implementation plan. Changing management philosophy. Plan an effective change for the management that greatly increases the chance of a successful change. The change management high-level plan is funded by 3 bedrock tenets. Department-wide change requires the department-wide leadership parent organization must lead implementation recommendations detailed into the document to ensure all changes are logically applied with the executable, having buy-in those that were executed and effective by them. Who gets measured to get done? In progress implementing each of the recommendations continue with the most senior DOD to stakeholders on a regular periodic basis, maintaining completing transparency, openness, successful transformation paramount with the climate of complete transition opens the ideas of maintaining the ensure the complete visibility and obstacle implemented hating the recommendation effective recommendations receptive and initiatives of the solution to overcome them. Core team concept. The core team, shown in the figure 21, provides a focused, flexible framework to facilitate the successful product support assessment team recommendations implementation. The core team leader is responsible for the overall management of the team routines, efforts, and staff of the Office of Assistant Deputy under the Secretary of Defense of Military Readiness. Assisting with the core team leader of the process, the leader who manages the day-to-day change of the management process, such as tracking progress against the implementing plan, helping fix any of the problems that occur during the implementation. The core team is approximately 15 to 20 vested stakeholders leading the implementation of the program support assessment team. The recommendation of the team is composed by the Office of Secretary of Defense members and each of the service of the Department of Logistics and Agency selects an aerospace and industry association and the National Defense Industry Association academia members who have in-depth knowledge of product support assessment and recommendation. The stakeholder recommendations will impact or influential with their respective organization drive buy-in collaboration across the enterprise. The extended team supports the core team and allows the reach for the back of the resources involved with the project. Does not intend the core team meetings of the extended team members typically have infrequently, but more importantly, impacted the project on data rights and contracts legal with organizations as well as others who play a supporting role such as engineering and testing. The extended team can be included with those provided with the strategic advisory expertise, usually in functional experts who lend part of the time in the core team on the need basis to such extended team members identified when resources and constrained when core team ensures on whom to work with. Figure 21 shows the core team concept identified with the high-level roles and responsibility forms of the foundation of the strong management. From the left, you have the core team. In the middle core, you have from the middle core, you have Office of Accounting, Second Defense, U.S. Secretary of Defense, MR. Starting with human capital strategy, you have your core team leader and process leader, product support of business model with the core team, and the governance on the outside ring. You have your extended team. So you have product support business model with a human capital strategy on the governance. And on the outer ring, extended team, we have system engineering, sustaining engineering, inventory management, procurement, contracting, program managers, independent cost controller, maintenance requirements, definition, distribution, process owner, and combat and commanders. The recommendation that the core team implements the broad required for the focused efforts of the success coordinating the core team divided into 3 integrated with the product teams. Each of the which dedicated in the implementing between 1 and 4 recommendations as in the integrated product teams is compromised with the cross-functional group that expert to the skills with required understand, execute, and key tasks, and by the integrated products team recommendation. The core team leader coordinates with the resource allocation skill resident with the integrated product teams that are needed for the help, and other with the integrated product team recommendations for which they are responsible follow. Integrated product team number 1, product support business model of the team, the formula, guidance, action necessary for the implementing the product support business model, ensuring the consistent application defined by the program support business model roles, responsibility, and interrelationship. Develop and planning initiative in line with the expanded partnership beyond the Department of Defense maintenance and across the range of the product support function. Developing and enabling the guidance necessary for the transition weapon system product support strategies, the outcome, and the approaches utilizing the enterprise supply chain management practices. The integrated product team number 2, governance. This team will develop implementing action necessary to insert the institutionalized governance of the product support of the lifecycle function, implement institution for the appropriate approve the sustainment metrics, including the cost and the part of the product's governance account activities, milestones, review the other product assessment actions necessary to ensure the appropriate lifecycle management oversight of the across the entire Department of Defense enterprise. Developing recommendation implementation action necessary to provide with the full visibility, transparency, consistent estimation, consistent reporting of the operating support of the cost across the defense enterprise. Developing and implementing analytical toolbox based on the methodology will enable the selection broad product support options among the business model and alternatives over the defense system life cycle. Integrated product team number 3, human capital. The team will develop a recommendation implementing actions required to define and shape the professional workforce necessary to execute the new product support environment. The objective is fully integrated with the acquisition logistics of the team, the can plan and management product support while expanding, leveraging, broadening integration, public and private sector industrial base. Management oversight of the 3 teams will be provided with recognizing the program support assessment team with the senior steering group, including the product support executive council, and this executive group of efforts should be aligned with the relatively senior level group such as the maintenance executive steering committee, the joint logistics board, and the weapon system lifecycle management pro group. Product Support Executive Council. Effective management defines how all parts of the Department of Defense enterprise involved with designing and deploying the program support assessment team recommendations, as well as the specified decision rights and contributions expected of each of the person involved with each of the core team and core leaders, provided with the management and strategic operation tactical aspects and implementation product support assessment team recommendations, oversight, management, senior guidance for the implementation of the program supported assessment team recommendation provided with the program support and PSE with the body of the evolution support steering guide is implemented independent senior high-level groups as such as MES and JLB and WSML, the PESEC, the Product Support Executive Council, a high-level composition shown in Figure 50-22, ensuring the probability, visibility, support, implementation of the program support assessment team recommendations. Exacting the composition of the Product Support Executive Council is initially recommended by the Product Support Assessment Team Support Steering Group in final meeting of the official year 2009. Figure 29 is the Product Support Exclusive Executive Council representation, ensuring the initiative properly supported for the line, the Department of Defense strategy, lifecycle product support, vision, and girdle guiding principle. The ADU, SDRM, OSD staff, and the joint staff and service components of the agencies and industry all under the Product Support Executive Council. The management cadence of the Product Support Executive Council, core team leader, core team, all that work together with the product provide implementation management. The team requires commonly understood roles and responsibility communication channels, starting at the point with the shown in Figure 23. Note the regular scheduled meeting will be required for the management cadence, ensure that the implementation program is smooth and well known to the stakeholders, all any members with the implementation program support assessment team recommendation known and brought with the appropriate decision body there before the uncoverable schedule variancy occurs. Figure 23 shows the product support management cadency, ensures the implementation progress of the tracked and reported schedule in a repeatable manner. The program support executive council, core team leader, and core team are the roles. The responsibility of the program support and executive council ensures the alignment of the program, the support assessment team recommendation, and implementation of the Department of Defense strategy with the lifecycle product support vision and guiding principles, makes executive decisions with the impact of across the service of the industry borders, also has a communication cadency of meets quarterly. The core team leader leads the core team accomplishing overseeing the implementation plan facilities, operating the level decisions made by the core team, managing all implementation management of officials' communications. It reports the program support executive council quarterly, transmit the feedback of the provided product support executive council to the core team as applicable. The core team implementates a program support assessment team. The recommendations in accordance with the guidance of the program support executive council, making operational tactical level decisions, attending meetings monthly as needed. Implementation plan. The section shows the relationship between high level and task required to fulfill the program support assessment team recommendation. Implementation B, but the overarching implementing master schedule, which is part of the implementation plan, critical to the successful implementation of the robust communication strategy plan, identifying the plan organization that must be communicated with the appropriate channels in which to conduct the communication laying. On the communication sequence, the aligning resource with grades delivered the communication is one of the first tasks of the core leader. Complete to kick off the implementation master schedule. Implementation master schedule provided by the executive level review of how the program support assessment recommendation implemented on task by task basis. The detailed schedule is developed by the core team with the guidance for the initial program support executive council meeting and agreed on by all the stakeholders, and kicking off the respective recommendations greatly, generally, and speaking through the kickoffs according to the schedule. Table shows an implementation master schedule in chapter 6, chapter 7. That is in the chapter 6, and we're on chapter 7, and then the appendices.